September we met, I could tell by your smile. You hadn't been with a good girl like me in a while. Yeah, you were impressed, couldn't leave me alone. Text me every time that you pick up the phone. And I had control in the driver's seat, but my hands are slipping off the wheel. Now the tables have turned, now I'm up all night. I'm picturing.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I have another interesting topic. Today we're going to be talking about what is Mammon, right? So we know in the Bible it states, and we're going to go into the Bible, and then we're going to actually come out of the Bible to actually talk a little bit about Mammon. There's a part in the Bible where it says, when Christ said, you cannot serve both God and Mammon. But what does that mean? If someone say you cannot serve both God and Mammon, what is Mammon? Mammon is represented as that energy, money. So when we think about money, let's look at money a little bit more about that frequency. And if we think about money as a frequency, money is an energy, right? So we won't think that the energy is a spirit. We'll more think about Mammon as an energy, right? So when we say you cannot serve both God and Mammon, it just basically means that you basically can't serve Mammon, but Mammon must serve you, right? So when you think about money, there's many different ways that you have to understand money. Money is an energy that likes to flow. And if you try to hold money, then money won't be held, right? So because if money is in frequency and it's an energy, and this natural order is to flow back and forth, and you're stopping this natural order, then if you don't handle it the way it wants to be handled, and you mistreat it, you surely will not receive that money anymore. That money will not be back in your life. So when we think about money, we got to look at money as that frequency, right? You have to develop a healthy, balanced relationship in order for you to have that money coming into your life, right? We can't make financial decisions and cause us to actually end up in debt and then say, oh my God, how come I'm struggling? How come I'm broke? But you didn't have a healthy, balanced relationship with the money, right? You allow the money to not serve you. You allow the relationship not to be healthy, right? You did not materialize the money in the direction that you're supposed to allow that frequency to flow in and out of your life. And that was one of the reasons why you was not in line with that frequency. So you didn't allow yourself to get that frequency. You didn't get that money to serve you. Right? And a lot of times we're going to think about the laws of attraction. There's a lot of people who will see somebody in a better predicament and get upset, right? We'll see people who's rich and we'll be annoyed that they're doing all this with the money. And, sometimes we'll hear like, these mega millions, and we'll be like, I don't even need that much. And I don't even really want that much. I just want a little bit of this. And, I just want to be comfortable. But what is comfortable? Comfortable doesn't mean that you're going to have that wealth. Comfortable doesn't mean that you're going to be rich. Comfortable doesn't mean that you're going to get what you want. We kind of manifest our growth, our potential, because when we talk, we're talking in a way that as if we don't desire or we don't respect that energy of the money, as if we don't need that money. So if you're looking at money as an energy, you got to be real with yourself. You want the money or you don't want the money, right? So in order for you to want that money, you got to give that money that respect, right? So we can't be bad-mouthing people who got money. You see somebody walking with a Louis Vuitton bag, and the first thing you say, oh, where she got that bag from? Who she thinks she is? Oh, she took all that money up and spent it on a bag. Why does it matter? You want the money or you don't want the money? Because we got to respect the energy that's flowing. We got to allow that energy to flow. We got to value that money. And when we think about rich people, we don't see the rich person coming up there and complaining about the money that they have, right? We don't hear the rich person complaining, oh, why Jim has a Bentley and didn't go for a Benz. We don't see that, right? We don't see them complaining. But when we're living in our, in our lives every day, and we're a middle class, we tend to get caught up in saying a lot of things that may actually hold and stop our potential from receiving that money. Because if we look at the money as an energy, as how it was described in biblical texts, then we're going to realize that we're dealing with an energy, so that we need that frequency to actually roll in our lives. How many times people doesn't really value money, right? Sometimes you may meet somebody and that person might be like, I don't care how much money that person have. I don't care about who that person is. I don't care about all these things. But then at the same time, you're not valuing that money, right? So you get into this relationship, you get into this marriage, and the whole time you complain about the person that you actually picked up. You complain about the person that you're with because that person doesn't have money. So the whole thing about it, you have to be true to yourself when you're actually looking at the money, as far as stop complaining about the money. Stop tearing the money down. Stop tearing that energy down that you want to really flow into your life. If you want that energy to flow into your life, we got to look at it and start thinking about it in a different aspect. We got to start looking at it as we want that money in our life. We want that reward. We want to come out of poverty. And if you sit back and you think about the lack of money in your life, or the money being present, how many people tend to actually go crazy for this energy, right? And that was one of the reasons why I said the money has to serve you. You don't serve the money, right? So you don't serve Mammon, because if you serve Mammon, you're gonna kill, you're gonna do malicious things for this money, you're gonna go crazy for this money. But at the same time, if you respect the money and you follow the flow of the energy of the money by allowing that money to flow back and forth, you're gonna realize there's a difference, right? When we think about rich people, how they go out there and they actually give to the charity, they donate, they give back, right? We may think to ourselves like, oh, these people are rich, they got all this. But at the same time, how many people that you see are giving to charities and giving, right? They give more than us. Obviously, I mean, we don't have the money in our life the way that we would like to have the money in our life. But there's a difference in how they actually allow that money to flow in and out of their life, back and forth. And you don't hear them complaining about the money, right? So the money has to be in a constant movement, right? It has to be in a constant movement. When we think about Scrooge McDuck in the vault, right? He had a big pile of money and he didn't like to spend that money. He wanted the money to kind of stay still, right? You're always making money. You're always losing money. Money has to actually flow. It has to be given and it has to come back. And if it's not flowing, you're going to find yourself in a jam where you're not going to be able to get that money, right? So whatever you put out is whatever you get. The laws of attraction, right? Whatever you put out is whatever you get. So the universe is going to actually give it right back to you. So if you're constantly holding on to money, like, no, I can't give that, right? I can't do it. I'm not going to give up the little I have. You're going to realize that that money is stagnant. And what's going to happen is that you're going to keep chipping away at that money. So eventually you are not going to have anything left. So the more you ever heard the saying, the more you give is the more you get, right? And the reason why is because money is an energy, it's a frequency, and it has to be moved. It has to move in a movement. It has to flow. Right? And if it flows, then it's going to be in his natural habitat, right? To actually flow. That energy has to continue to flow. Think about, there's so many people in the world that constantly are screwing up our world, right? And you don't hear, you turn on the news and you say, money, this frequency of money is killing people. It's actually people that kill people. It's actually people that do each other harm, right? And the money, people tend to actually associate money as being evil. They say, oh, I don't want all that money. Oh, the rich people do this, the rich people do that. And they did this and they did that for that money. But at the same time, think about how life will be much easier if you had enough money to pay your bills and you wasn't struggling and you wasn't the typical middle class who's now working from paycheck to paycheck and have to save and have to do all these things for the money. And think about how many crime is committed because of a lack of the money. And it's all because you're not respecting that energy. You're not respecting that frequency that comes in and out of your life. So like I said it again, you got to be real with yourself, right? You can't sit up here and complain about everybody who has that money. We can't watch superstars and we can't watch all these people and complain that they're driving this Porsche. We can't sit up here and complain that they have this handbag. We can't complain about all these things because if you had it, you would want it too. Right? Because there's a certain society that now you're living in that requires you to have it. Because if you got your hands into money, you can't live around the same neighborhood, right? Because if you was a millionaire, you can't, or a billionaire, you can't live around the same neighborhood. Because people who in your neighborhood gonna actually see you as a threat. Now it becomes a home invasion. So when we think about money, there's a whole different lifestyle changes when you get this certain kind of bracket of money that actually comes in. So if we want that money, the first thing we have to do is change our thought process. How can we want money at the same time, want a better job, want a promotion, want to live a better life, want a nice house, want to have a nice car, but at the same time complain and criticize the other person who's enduring that wealth? So how are we going to get it if we spend most time manifesting negative thought forms about the person who have it? Then we're basically saying it back into the universe, I don't want it. And then at the same time, money is a frequency and it's an energy. So then we basically selling this frequency and energy, hey, I don't want you coming within me and dwelling around me. So we don't want this wealth to flow within us and through us. We don't want it there because we're identifying the money as Mammon, which is evil. And there's no way that it represented in the biblical text as saying it was evil. It just said you can't serve both Mammon and God. When we think about the universe, with this energy of frequency of money, money likes to be given away. It likes to be donated. It likes to be in a constant mobility of a movement. It likes to be constantly moved. When you give, you get. This is the saying. This is the phrase, right? It's basically money has to open up for you, right? The frequency of the line, when you're in line with that money, the opportunities in the universe has to kind of give it back to you, right? If you're giving, you're going to get. You're going to get. And that's a guarantee. That's a fact. We hear about people giving away in charities millions of dollars, but then at the same time, we're like, how is this person still rich? How does this person still have it? Right? But if you wanted the money, you have to change your aspect. You have to change the way you think. You have to change your views. You got to change your beliefs in order to create that wealth. Because too many times we stand stereotyping against the people who have it. We spend a lot of time envying the people who has it and kind of like talking bad about that energy, so that energy doesn't flow within our path. And when we think about money, right, when we think about Mammon, let's go back. If you roll into this realm, right, you're on the frequency of the ancestor, which is your parents, right? And your parents' parents and your parents' parents. And it's basically when you roll into this realm, is how your parents lived their life is how you're going to have your first early part of your childhood. So if your parents were struggling and they didn't have that money, well, then you're going to endure that when you now come in. So we got to think about money in a different aspect, and we got to always look at the money as a frequency, as an energy, and not as this evil force that's there that corrupts humans to do the wrong thing. And it's at the same time, humans don't have to be corrupted to do the wrong thing. They naturally are people out there that just do the wrong thing, that just makes the wrong choices. And money doesn't play an aspect with it. So we got to change our views, and we got to really sit down and think about it. If from today moving forward, we got to look at the money as a frequency, as an energy, and let's call it Mammon. So we got to live by the rules of money, because everything in this universe is universal laws, and I'll get into that in another video. And if you learn the laws of money, then your life will play out a bit different, and you'll see yourself getting promoted, getting a better job, and life will play out a bit different for you. So when we think about money, we got to think about people, right? We heard sayings like bird of a feather flocks together. And we got to think about that energy of the people that you are around. So if you wanted to attract more money in your life, then we got to think about the company that you keep, right? So we're all connected through each other, and every friend that we have are connected through that vibration that we attracted to them, that made us friends. We are connected through their wavelength, that aura. That's all these things are connecting these friendships that we have. And let's think about it. Sometimes we may have friends where they're just, they may not be on the same caliber with you as what you want to do in life. But if you're thinking about creating new wealth, right, and creating new money, we got to think about the people that's linked to us, the people that surround us. Are these people that's going to motivate you? Are these people who's going to hold you back in life? Are these people what are they doing with their life? Are they trying to move ahead in life? Or are they trying to pull you back down in life? Every time you move ahead, are you hearing negative remarks like, why you want to do that? What you want to do that for? You have to think about the people that you surround yourself with. And all this plays into Mammon as well, right? You want that energy to flow in your life, but if you want the energy to flow in your life, it's not only the way how you may believe and how your views are, but you got to think about the people that also surround you. So when we think about Mammon from today moving forward, we got to look at Mammon as an energy that's a frequency that we got to be in line with. And thank you for watching my video.